Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I am one of your hosts, Brett White.
I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
And I'm Colin Smith, and today we are here to talk about Season 3, Episode 18, Double or Nothing.
Before we get into the episode, I want to do my Patreon spiel, because I keep forgetting to do it. If you want to support this podcast, you can subscribe to our Patreon, where we are going through Buffy Season 4 for its 25th anniversary. We're covering basically every season as it turns 25. The episodes are supposed to release on the 25th anniversary air date. Sometimes it's a few days after. We're also going through X-Men the Animated Series and Batman the Animated Series, which, Brett, I feel like it's wild that I have not had you on.
I did one episode of X-Men.
One episode of X-Men,
yeah,
yes.
I did Deadly Reunions. Which
Right,
was,
yes.
Oh, God, just write a dissertation on that.
Yeah, and like the X-Men, the Batman is still so good, but Batman, I feel like sometimes there's less to discuss because it's more straightforward, like storytelling. In X-Men, it's like there's always so much to talk about. But
Larry Houston's like, let me draw Kane in the background of this.
Yes.
Let me draw like Slayback. I don't know.
oh, Domino has a story going on behind Gambit this whole episode.
Yeah.
And we do Patreon Zooms, we do watch-alongs. Any and all support is much appreciated. Colin, what did we think of this episode, revisiting it?
It was fine. It's it definitely puts the brakes on the arc that's been going on, which makes sense because, Connor is gone.
Well,
But yeah.
you haven't been on for the last like 3 episodes. It's been the breaks have been on, and it's solid.
I've listened.
Wait, hold on. What is the episode right before this? Have there been episodes between the last time I was on and this one?
So Sleep Tight is the last one that's out as of recording. So there's one in between.
Because it felt like nothing had happened since the last time I was on.
Forgiving is the one in between.
You know what?
Spoiler alert, it's the one where they find Wesley and make Sajan corporeal again.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
in
see.
an
Oh, my
attempt
God. There's a whole episode, but okay, wow, yeah, this is
Yeah.
really, they're spinning them brakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of those, 22 episode order, y'all. This is the kind of episode of TV that would not get made nowadays, which I think ultimately is a bad thing, because I kind of do think I am a proponent of the 22 episode season, because you get, not every time you hang out with your friends is the best time you're hanging out with your friends, but you're still hanging out with your friends,
So Brett, what did you think? Yeah, what did you think of this episode?
I mean, this is a bad episode. The thing is like, this is a Gunn-Fred relationship arc, chess piece moving, and it's an important one for that, because it does super solidify them as a couple. Yeah. The problem is like, I don't think anyone cares about them as a couple, and honestly, watching this for the first time in hindsight, knowing that J. August Richards is a gay man, just puts all this into such perspective. Not saying that gay men can't play straight.
No.
But it really does. There is just an off. He has more chemistry with Alexis Denisof.
Yes.
Now there's a ship that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that too, because Fred and Gunn are, and I think both of you have said this, those characters and actors are charming, are likable, charismatic.
They're better with Wesley.
Yeah, they just don't read as like charming and charismatic with each other. And oof, what a slog.
It's for a episode that we're in like the final 5 episodes now of the season.
Yes, I think that's my problem. Yes. To your point, Brett, that's why I think like a show like Buffy is a very big, look how well 22 episode seasons work. I think Angel is showing sometimes it's okay to have a lesser episode.
Yeah. I mean, because I thinking back to when this was like airing and stuff, because if you're an Angel fan watching this concurrently with Buffy season 5, is that this season?
This would be season 6.
Season 6. Oh God, what a depressing.
Yeah, it's depression all over the place.
But I mean, I would have definitely been disappointed with this episode, but I would have loved hanging out with them for an hour on my Monday night. Didn't they moved it around a little bit?
This had moved to Monday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paired with Seventh Heaven, right? Is that what?
I think so, yeah.
What a feel-good night.
A show with an actual monster on it.
Yes. This episode, I remember Cordy came back, so I was like, oh, good. It'll be And she does make it less boring, but she's not in it that much.
It is wild that is this Cordelia first dealing with all of Angel's
Yes.
like that? Honestly, that is the episode. Like I could have handled, imagine an episode that was just Cordelia and Angel for 45 minutes. Like her.
I feel like if this was made now, that's the type of episode it would be.
Because she offers him a lot of platitude-y kind of advice that I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from for Cordelia. Like all of a sudden she's got like a PhD and stuff. And I'm like, in a 45-minute episode, we could actually talk about like, you know, when I was impaled, I had a lot of time. Like you could actually like dive into what events has happened in Cordelia's life that we have seen because we've been hanging out with her for a long time.
True. Yeah.
What informs her viewpoint on Angel's grief and how she can help Angel. Like that's an interesting story. Instead, we
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
we get casino night,
and it's so divorced from the rest. This is where the argument where it's like, well, some shows didn't need 22 episodes for me because like this feels like, oops, we wrote the plot, but like we can't fill. Like there's 5 episodes left of the season, and this is what we're doing. It almost feels like, oops, like we have the plot, we know what we need to do. We had to stretch it out, and we got one scene from that plot we wrote. So like, come up with something.
It is also weird because there are a lot of there are a lot of pieces that could have been expanded and made a whole. Like Gru is in the episode barely, but like the one of him being like, oh, and also we can show him this rectangular it's like, oh, that is funny. Like show Gru trying to do administrative work.
Yes.
Like, oh, you guys are down. Let me
your boss is away. I will take over.
Like there's like, I think this also goes to the, you know, nowadays on shows, like the writer's room happens in a hole at first. So you write the whole episode, the whole season. I think this is very indicative of the grind of a weekly, because I think if the writers had another week or so to work on this script and really flesh it out. This feels like we got to have a script done in 2 days, and these are the beats we have to hit. Like, and they just couldn't.
And I think Buffy, they could could do that because Jane Espenson did Pangs in like 2 weeks, I think.
And it's one of the best episodes of all time.
But you know what I mean? Like that, and like she, granted, whether it works or not, but she like tried to do research into the Chumash tribe. Like she like figured out what the closest like native tribe to that area would have been. It was the Chumash. She looked into it for a few days and then had to write the script. And on Buffy, they just had writers that could pump out us. And like, I think because also that ensemble just was like tighter.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, the Angel ensemble. I mean, the Buffy ensemble is essentially their episode 1. You have the core 4.
Yeah.
And so like by season 3 of Buffy, these core 4 have developed such tight relationships. Whereas Angel, like we're just kind of now barely getting to see the Angel cast form. And they just kicked Wesley out.
Which is wild that at no point between now and the finale does Cordelia visit Wesley.
Wait, she really doesn't?
I don't believe so.
Oh my gosh. You do remember Angel better than I do, Colin. I was like, I thought this episode, I was like, oh, I don't remember the scene where Cordy sees Wes. I guess this is the episode where she maybe goes to see him. And
the next time that they see each other will be when she comes back in season 4.
Because, right, I think that was a piece of trivia that I had where it was like, this is the last time Cordelia and Wesley will see each other until season 5.
I could see maybe her. I actually can't see why she wouldn't go visit him in the hospital. He just had his throat slit. But like, even next episode after she's done dealing with Angel, to just have one scene where she goes to his apartment just to be like, I know you can't come around the hotel, but like, how are you?
Because I think she would still be, I do think she would be stern with him, but I think she would be like, I want to make sure you're okay. We are not friends anymore because I can't believe you did that, but I hope you're okay.
I don't know that she wouldn't be friends with him. In my defense of Wesley.
I honestly, like the Fred scene, I'm like, this doesn't feel like Fred at all to me. I don't know. It felt very writerly to me.
Yeah. It was, who would go visit him? It would be Fred. But I don't know that this is something that Fred would say to him necessarily, or in that way.
For me, this felt like what Cordelia would. That's for me what I felt like.
Fair.
Cordelia.
Wesley did nothing wrong. I'm throwing it out there right now. But if I do think that it works that Cordy wasn't in the last few episodes, because he would have had to talk to her. I can see him not talking to the rest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He would have had to discuss it with her. And I think the reason that he could have come with, and this is the angle that they probably should have done, is Angel might not want to kill Connor, and Jealous would.
Yeah. So in the last episode, that's what made me really angry, because Fred tells Angel, it's the prophecy. The prophecy said blah, blah, blah. And Angel is like, well, I wouldn't do that. And it's like, excuse me, I watched a season of Buffy where you did nothing but that.
And Jealous likes to torture and kill the people Angel loves.
Yeah.
And you know what makes parents really fucking happy? Kids.
Children.
As soon as Connor first says dada or takes his first step, that soul's gone.
Yeah. And Jealous would be like, great, now I'm going to eat this kid.
So
yeah, that's where like I would even buy Fred going and telling Wesley all of that. Honestly, kind of what, oh my God, there's such a parallel here they didn't even pull from. So like this whole episode is like Gunn has sold his soul and he only has like a limited amount of time left. So he basically does a really bad boyfriend turn to Fred, try to make that eventual separation hurt less. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be me. Fred should have gone and done the same thing to Wesley of like, I'm going to performatively say, you can't come around no more. We all hate you, because Fred knows I still like you, but if you come around, Angel will kill you. And I want to try to scare you to save your life, even if it hurts me.
Even if there was just
they don't play it that way.
Like, even if she had just walked out of the room and we just see her in like the hallway, like break down or something like that.
Yeah. But they present it as if like this is her like stern feelings about it. I don't like Fred having.
I feel like I've said this a lot this season, and like I do get the argument, like, well, he's a dad now, but I feel like Angel acts very un-Angel for like most, like, I know that I get that it's the writers being like, he's a new dad now. What would he do? But for me, it feels like every step of this is like, so like, I don't know. We live in a world where like, sir, you lose your soul and you tried to kill your girlfriend's like entire friend group and her family. And like, you killed her science teacher. Yeah. Like
you murdered her best friend's fish just to spite her.
Like that is an insanely petty thing to be like, oh, she has a pet. It's a fish. Great. I'm going to kill wait, you went in there just to kill a fish? Like,
and I think you can, because Angel is kind of stubborn. I think you can have him not see that, but to have no one else around him really hammering
that's
that
why
home.
I think it would have worked if Cordy and Wesley had that.
Yeah.
Right?
Because Cordy
lived through it.
Yeah, Cordy lived through it.
Yeah.
Wesley did not. Wesley like knows about it, but he wasn't there.
There was that one and Jealous Light episode in season 1 that Wesley was in Eternity. And at the end of that one, Cordelia, even when they've like tied Angel up until it passes, says to him like, you're my friend, I love you, but if this happens, we are ready to put you down.
Yeah.
Which happens in this episode at the end.
And like
sort of.
It's implied.
You're right, Brett. It's like, okay, fine. Maybe Angel wouldn't acknowledge it, but everyone else should be able to acknowledge, like, that is not a wild assumption for Wesley to be like, this could happen.
And part 2 of 3 of my Wesley defense, real quick, is it's fine for Fred and Gunn to, like, last episode is when we learned that the prophecy is fake.
Right, yes.
Not that it's fake, it's that Sajan went back and altered it in his favor. Is in this world, prophecies are a real legitimate thing.
Yes.
Which Fred and Gunn might be like, okay, well, they're around the supernatural, but they've not dealt with this. As a watcher, Wesley has.
Yes.
Angel has. Cordelia has. So they know that, like, okay, it's prophecy. They make it very clear in the last episode that Wesley's done his research.
Yeah, they show there's like so much research. And that is why, like, that's another reason why it bothers me, because I don't understand why Angel wouldn't be worried, because like you said, he's he's dealt with prophecies before. Like
his whole life is a prophecy. His soul is a prophecy.
Yeah, remember when it was prophesized that Buffy was gonna die and then she did? Like,
yeah.
Like
I
it's a
feel
thing
like
in this world.
he should be worried, right? Like that should be the reaction is, oh my God, there's a prophecy. I'm gonna hurt my baby. Like,
I would never do that.
Yeah. Like,
And then my last point is some babies have bad vibes, and in 2 episodes, Wesley will be justified.
yes. Once we meet this baby as an adult, it's like, well, if only. And God, yeah, Connor's so close to something I would like as a plot, but like just never gets there.
No.
And in season 4, he's so annoying.
It honestly is like there's Ilyana Rasputin, and then there's Connor. And it's like, this is the good way to do it. This is the bad way to do it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just and this episode, we like see Fred and Gunn are kind of overwhelmed. I even thought like, oh, I like this elderly demon couple. Like,
they were so great.
Yeah. Like he goes to their lair, but then we never see them again. And I would have I really got a kick out of that.
I love them. And I love when they leave and Fred is all like excited about how long they've been in love. And she's like, they fin each other's insults.
Yeah. And like, that's shit that I think Angel doesn't lean fully into till season 5 of like goofy demons that literally are like neutral. They're not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and like a case of the week with a silly, goofy demon that feels like an old person.
I remembered vaguely the plot of this episode when they were describing the demon that was in their house and being like, oh, it keeps us up because of the shrieking and like our house is messy because of the phlegm. And he's like, oh, well, you just cut off its head. I was picturing like, because I forgot what the demon was, just like a small little like
Colin,
non-humanoid something. There's a fully grown man living in their house.
Like, right? Like, that's too fun. Yeah. That's like takes up room. I will say that Cordelia, though, like when she enters, it's like, oh, thank God.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. It's like, oh, she's back. Great, because we needed this character here for everything. And Charisma Carpenter does a really good acting choice where like her I care voice, I really like. I do think you're right, Brett. Some of the platitudes are a little like, meh, but she does really well. Like, I understand this is very serious. I'm not cracking jokes voice where she's like, soft and like,
you need the compare it. Like you need the contrast. Like it would have been great to be her be like walking and be like, also just like, oh, who moved this? Why did you? This didn't get filed this way. Like just picking out all the things that have gone to shit while she's been gone and like reading people. Like and then like. You're right. Like, I don't like it when Cordy gets the mother, when she becomes like the mother of this cast. Well, she seems like she needs to be the snarky aunt. Yes, she does definitely. I mean, it's bordering on Karen hair. I don't like the blonde bob. I don't know. I don't know.
This, I think, is the worst. This one is the worst.
This is not good hair. But I feel like she needs to be like the wise, cool aunt or something. I don't like.
Well, I think that's what they're trying. Like, I think that it's like mom, cool aunt, and it's like, but she's the heart. I just did this.
Yeah.
But like, and I feel like those things kind of just like mush together sometimes with the writing. Because even with her delivering the platitude, I like that it wasn't like super positive. I like that she was like, oh yeah, no, this won't get better. This will suck forever.
This will always be horrible. Which is very Cordy.
Yeah.
It's very a leveled up version of the speech he gave him at the start of the season when Buffy was dead. Like, you will move on.
Yeah.
But this time it's like, okay, but this is a lot more personal and this is a lot like you will never get over this, but life goes on. You have to go on.
Yeah, and I
imagine if Gru is in the background is like, also we have slides. If anyone not yet. Oh no, okay. Now?
Oh, she absolutely was like, Gru, you do not go near the floor Angel is on.
Yeah.
We brought trinkets.
And like Gru is. It's a shame that Gru is mostly just a plot device because I do think he's charming. He's attractive and I'm like charmed by his himbo, like upbeat, just like excited.
Absolutely.
He would have been such a great addition to the regular cast.
I think so,
because first of all, a good fighter, and honestly, these shows when it isn't like a G.I. Joe or X-Men or thing where like the prereq is everyone needs to be able to fight, and it's like Buffy and Angel, I'm always like, what is Xander gonna do with this?
Right? Yeah.
So it's like adding another fighter is like good.
And like nondescript demon strength where it's like, just make him stronger, it's fine.
Even
he's like if Anya was a puppy dog in a way. Like that's a fun character.
What were you saying, Colin? Sorry.
I was just going to say, even to do kind of what they did with season 6 of Buffy, where Buffy's gone, have the Buffy bot. Like, for the first few episodes of season 4, why Gru should have been around?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like it literally was just the like, well, we need a Cordelia plot.
Oh, 100%.
And then once they were done with that plot, they were like, well, bye.
Because he never
comes. It's weird that he never ever comes back.
Because that's usually the story of Buffy regular characters is they start as like you have one scene in one episode, one line, and that actor knocks it out of the park. And then it's like, now you have 100-episode contract.
And now you are here till the finale of the series.
Yeah. Suddenly in the spin-off show of the final season of the spin-off show, you're in the credits.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, and that's like a thing I love about these shows is they do that really well. So it's like weird that this character, even though he's like a delight, it's like, because I think he leaves after no.
He's here to the end of this season.
Is he till the end? Okay,
I'm pretty sure. Because I do believe he's the one in the finale to be like, go to Cordelia.
Okay, you're right. Yes. Yeah. I was thinking it happened a little before that, but yes, you're right.
So like he's here for a few, which makes sense because like they did just lose Wesley as a fighter. So he's around for this, but yeah.
And like even Wesley and Gunn, it's like they're fighters, but they're still like human strength. Like I just don't
they're
know.
Dudes.
Yeah,
I do love though, skipping ahead because we're just completely all over the place. We should probably try to get back on track. But I do love, speaking of fighting. Oh, hello!
Yay!
At the end of this episode, when they do go into the casino, Cordelia's taking swings at people.
Yes, I like that. Nice. I like that we started the season with training her, so it's okay that we can be like, yeah, she can fucking do this now because the season started with like Angel's training her, and we saw that she was really good at it like immediately because of her cheerleading like skills.
When did she stake her first vampire? Was it graduation day?
Yeah, graduation day.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just like, she's been doing this for a while after her video.
And like, my fun fact about that, which Charisma did say when she was on the podcast, is that was Charisma's idea. She was like, she asked Joss if she could stake a vampire that day, and he said she was the only one not pissing him off on set, so sure. And she said it was because she was like, this makes sense. Cordelia would have to know how to do this. Living on the Hellmouth for this long.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I like that she says that in this episode. Like, you don't live in a Hellmouth as long as I have without like something. Yeah.
And like that makes sense, right? Like we can they can shrug her off as like dumb or whatever, but like it's true, right? Like she would have to have some kind of survival instincts to have lived through Sunnydale.
Yeah.
And not even lived through, like actively was a part of fighting the Hellmouth.
Yes.
All the time. When are we going to talk about the very expensive and very cringeworthy flashback?
Okay, so
the music rights. I honestly cannot believe that this is the episode they were like, we're going to drop some music licensing budget for the season to get.
I was jotting something down from the scene from the apartment when that needle drop happened, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
It is the whitest. It is like Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio, which at this point is
not even
6 or 7 years old.
Because I was like, I was like in 5th grade when this came out, and I was not in 5th grade when this episode came out.
Like, get some Ja Rule or like Ludacris or something. Like, I mean, if you're going to do a very on the nose, Gunn had a gangsta history and he went to this casino. Oh, I guess maybe it was set in 95. That's why they used it, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. It is an insane needle drop. And I was like, Brett, I want you to know that's what my first note was. LOL, Coolio, how did they afford this? Like, did Angel have a bigger music budget than Buffy? Because it's like...
They just like saved up.
Well, you said
Buffy
that...
couldn't have had Coolio at the bronze.
You said that Charisma said they always went over budget. So
she did, yeah.
This is where it went this season.
Yeah, Brett, she said that was like a worry about getting canceled. It's because they always went over budget on Angel, which it should have been don't understand.
Like... If you wanted that 1995 song that isn't cringeworthy, it isn't just like a bunch of 40-year-old white people chose the like California Love by Tupac. Like, because like that, everyone knows that song. That has a lot more cred, is period specific, is like, oh God, it was just, yeah.
It's perfect, is what you mean to say.
Yeah, the way that the Angel Riders write race is always fun.
But there are 2 points in this episode where I was like, what is the budget on this episode? This is weird. Like, they're like, it is weird that like, charisma, I mean, she did say they always went over budget. I just don't understand how like the spin-off show of Buffy was always allowed to go over budget when Buffy clearly did not go over budget. Like, you know what I mean? Like Buffy rarely had a transition that was like an actual popular song from any time.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
You know, like I feel like I'm trying to think of.
I was gonna say like
they had Dandy Warhol's Bohemian Like You once, and that might be like, I'm trying to like, that's like a very rare major label, and it's like, the Dandy Warhols. They ain't that major label.
Yeah, it's not like it was fucking Coolio's Gangsta Paradise where it was everywhere when I was in 6th grade.
Oh, they did Third Eye Blind the background at one point.
They did what?
Third Eye Blind the background at one point.
Oh,
I do believe. I think
then
so.
Season 4, going through season 4, there's a couple of times they use like a song that I'm like, is it like there's a montage of like Buffy waiting for Parker to call her back while Spike's like doing his plan, and they play like a song that's like
vaguely a song.
Yeah, it's like vaguely of the era rock song that's like not good.
Buffy and Angel dance to it in the Bronze in Faith, Hope, and Trick, I think. So yeah, so Third Eye Blind.
Eye Blind?
But, I mean, like, you know.
Wild. I had no idea. But even that, it's like it's not Semi-Charmed Life. It's not.
It's an album. It's an album track. A great album track. I was a huge Third Eye Blind fan at this time, which is why I knew what the song was. And hey, those Sarah McLachlan songs ain't cheap.
That is true. They probably weren't that cheap, but they're still cheaper than Gangsta.
They're probably cheaper.
Yes. Because none of them were singles. Like it was like album track Sarah McLachlan. It wasn't, In the Arms of an Angel. It was
building a mystery. Like they're not playing
Sweet Surrender. Let's keep naming Sarah McLachlan singles.
Listen, my first concert was Lilith Fair, so
work. Mine was the Ninja Turtles. Anyway.
That's incredible.
I love that so much. I feel like if something was on brand, like that feels on brand for you, and that feels on brand for me.
I did see Spice Girls though. That was great.
Oh yeah, I went to the reunion tour, but I saw them twice at the reunion tour, and it was maybe my favorite concert ever. Anyway, the demon that goes to see Gunn, who's like, "Hey mate, are you my daddy?" Like,
love that. I laughed at that.
That guy, he is so goofy, and he looks like the creeper from Jeepers Creepers, but with sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
right. It's like they had like leftover parts from that monster, and they're like, give him a goofy accent.
When he opens his mouth and it's like just full Jason Statham, like madness. I was like, I love that. That's great.
I was like, oh, this is jarring. I love it.
And there's a nice fade out because it opens with the guy at the casino being like, we're after that guy's soul. He owes us one soul. And you assume Angel. Right. And it's Gunn. No, I mean, I like that.
I was going to say, the whole setup of this episode is to lead you, until we realize it's Gunn, is to lead you to believe it's going to be Angelus is coming back.
But it's like a 20-minute fake out where we don't like address it until we address that it's not it. And like, I also think it's fucking stupid, right? Like, the problem is he has like a blood debt and he was selling his soul to this casino, but now he's giving his soul to Fred. We're like remaking the rules of souls here.
I just want to, that's my thing, is they were like, well, we knew you were about to give your soul to another one. Was he about to propose to her? Because like, what do you mean?
Even so, I don't understand. Like
they're in love,
that's not like she wasn't going to absorb his soul. And then,
like that's what I mean. Like even if they were getting married, if they were running away, like arguably, like I don't understand how.
With that said, that was the defense that Marge Simpson used to save Homer's soul in Treehouse of Horror. Satan couldn't have it because she already owned it.
But like,
it was also so weird when Cordy was like to Fred, like when Cordy was like basically like, "Girl, y'all are perfect for each other. It's fate. It's meant to be." And it's like, is it?
Especially because like,
what are you seeing?
2 scenes later, she sits down with Gunn and is like, "Yeah, I really thought her and Wesley were gonna."
That's old Cordy sneaking back in. I was gonna mess with.
I just think it's weird that her and Wesley matched better than you.
I mean, it's great you guys want to go on a date, but like, I don't know.
I mean,
yeah, I did not like Cordelia being like, oh, this makes so much sense, blah, 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 blah. I liked her. We tuned into like her clocking that something's wrong. I like that. Because that is, for me, that is who she's become. Where like, she is the heart. She is kind of like the one who picks up on shit faster than any of the rest of them. Like, she's got social cues down. The rest of them do not.
Which she always has, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually I have a friend who's going through Buffy for the first time, and he's been texting me, and he just watched What's My Line Part 2 last night. And he was like, I think I love Cordelia. Does she keep having a big part? I was like, yes, you will continue.
Does she?
And he was like, is it worth it to watch Angel for her? And I was like, yes.
Absolutely.
It's not always great, but it's worth it to watch for her.
Until it isn't.
Right. So we get Cordelia tells them to take the day off. Oh, it's such a long scene of Fred and Gunn. Ugh.
And it's such like, we go hit up the multiplex. It's are they 12? I don't know.
I also like, I understand what his plan was, but when she's like, I'm done eating, like what else is there? Because all we've done all day is eat. And he's like, oh, you're not having fun?
Right? Like, that's not crazy to be like, oh, I'm stuffed.
Right. Like, this is my fifth meal, and it's 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And then his plan is, let me just nag the fuck out of her, and it goes far.
Which I appreciate why he did it, and I like that they figure out why he did it. She should not have taken him back.
Colin, you're like, no, I don't care. I don't care if you're dying. I don't care if someone's stealing your soul.
I want a real woman, not a stick figure. Like, Jesus.
Which, like,
Christ.
She just ate half of LA. Obviously she's trying.
It's like,
it's just like, it also comes so out of nowhere. We already know what it's because of. Fred knows immediately that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and she even clocks like, you're dying. There's something wrong. Like, obviously.
I did like her jumping to leukemia.
He should have straight up just been like, yeah, so 7 years ago.
Yes. It's like, we just learned
the team
this
involved.
lesson. That we don't talk enough about what's going on in our lives.
Right. And honestly, on the balance, what Gunn is going through right now is like a Tuesday. You know, it's like, this is not actually that big of a deal.
No.
It really feels like
a random demon down the road wants your soul. Okay, like, let's roll up on them.
Join the club.
We can beat that and still make it back to Sonic before they close. You know?
Like, that should have been our date night.
A limeade.
Yeah, that's like, it's like, we just went through this. We have a friend who is now not our friend, who is in the hospital, who did not tell people what was going on. And now you're not telling
Fred, that was her conversation with Wesley was, I can't believe you didn't come to us.
Yeah.
I could see it if he had sold his soul for like, because he actually did love a woman who is maybe like still very much alive and maybe thinks he's dead, or like instead of, I mean, I do think it is funny kind of that the reveal is like, no, it was this truck. It's like, you couldn't wish for something with Erica. Like, and I get the like young Gun. You're like, yeah, this is a badass truck. Like, but he doesn't feel like he's going to live that long. He wants to save people. But in terms of like justifying why he's so stressed, is like, there should be more at stake. I don't know.
And like, they're trying to play it for Goofy, right? That's why they didn't show the picture. But I thought it was going to be something with his sister. But I forgot that, no, we don't acknowledge that he has a dead sister. Because that would make a little bit more sense too, if it was like for his sister, or like for his like gang of like chosen family friends, like that he lived with. It was something, but like a fucking.
Are they all dead? What happened to them?
No,
they attacked Lauren, and then we never hear from them again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And literally that's it.
Which fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, also Angel would love something to fight, right? Like,
well, as soon as Fred goes to them the next scene we get Cordy talking about, you know, grief is love. Their little Vision Wanda moment.
Yeah.
But as soon as he sees Fred is upset and is like, it's Charles, he's like, okay, then like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And that,
I do like her being like, the whole her trying to explain it of just like, you know.
That was charming.
So wait, so he said that to you? Yes, he said that to me, but he didn't. He wasn't saying that to me. Like,
he said?
Yeah, the things that he said.
I was really charmed by like, Cordy and Angel are having a moment and they hear her sobbing. And when Cordy opens the door, she's like, I was going to knock, but then it didn't seem like a good time to knock. And she's like still like sobbing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is very cute. Like this is when I like the later half of this season is when I start to really warm up to Fred because Amy Acker, I feel like they let Amy Acker do more.
Yeah. I think they finally figured out who Fred is.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also dropped the accent.
Yes. They let it be like slighter and slighter and slighter until it's not there, and great.
Also, I know Angel's been a little preoccupied since Connor's birth, but when he's like, "Oh, you and Gunn were dating," like, what do you mean?
Like they've been, and they're open about it. It's not a secret
anymore.
Yeah,
like, that's literally the whole reason Wesley won't talk to them for the last several weeks.
What, Colin, Brett, one of you will be. Is it? No, it's the Yoko factor when Xander's like, Tara's your girlfriend to Willow when they're having that argument, just like he didn't know, but Buffy like casually mentions it.
Yeah.
But like that makes more sense because she was like hadn't fully come out yet.
Yeah. Like they're making out in the office and going on dates.
Right. Yeah. Like very clearly. So we get. I think, Brett, you are right that this episode could have been Cordy and Angel kind of like Gru has to do silly, goofy Angel investigations like paperwork, and he's like messing it up. And Angel and Cordelia are just like sitting with their feelings.
Yeah.
Because I will say, like, the previous episode when Angel goes to Wesley, David Boreanaz, I think,
actually tried to kill Alexis?
No. I think David Boreanaz bounces off women better because I think Julie Benz, Charisma Carpenter, Sarah Michelle Gellar make his acting seem better because they bring their chemistry and they are such good actors. Angel, like, going to Wesley and being like, this is not Angelus talking to you, this is Angel, and I want you to know because I'm going to kill you, is like, I'm just like, I'm not buying this at all. But immediately when Cordelia is like talking to him and rubbing his back and is like, this isn't going to get better, but we will have to move on. And he is teary-eyed. I got teared up.
And maybe, I don't know if you filmed Forgiving yet, but maybe you've already talked about it. But like in that same episode, when the conduit tells him to kill Lila and he just calmly walks over to her and gets ready to snap her neck, like he can do it without the theatrics.
Yes. We don't need the theatrics. The like, and yes, I did record for that one already too. But like, yeah, it's like I don't. He does better when we let him be quieter with his emotions. Yeah. But moving on, we get the doctors tell Wesley they're going to release him.
He can go home, and he goes home to his empty department.
Yeah, and I do.
Because he doesn't have anyone in his closet yet tied up.
Yeah.
No, not yet. We're working on that.
And I guess like he doesn't have Lila's phone number yet.
Yeah.
I
He did nothing wrong.
We get, I forget what it is like.
Well, I guess she would have been preoccupied, but like even that would have been a good thing of like having Cordelia pick him up and drive him home, and then like then have a conversation and just be like, you can't come around.
Yeah. Yes. Right? And because I think I do think Cordelia might have stopped being friends with. I mean, I guess she did because we don't see them interact, but I do think Cordelia might have drawn the line. But I think she would have like brought him food or like
there would have been something.
Wanted
like,
to make sure he was like
on
okay,
this.
Yeah. Like I do think she would have maybe like she would be the type of friend where it's like she does not like you, but she doesn't wish you ill, so she'll like send you a text to be like, "Hey."
I mean, that was kind of her relationship with the Scoobies for several years. Yeah. Like, I hate these people, but like you need help? Okay.
Yeah. They go to the casino and God, this is all so stupid.
So, it's like, you gotta play for Gun's soul, and Angel's just like, just high card.
And I was like, wait, what is Angel gonna do if he loses? This is stupid. Like, why is he good at cards suddenly? And then he's not.
He's not. He doesn't even try. So there are multiple large-scale operations in LA where demons and humans intermingle.
Yes. Are you going to talk about how there was that one guy in the plaid with the gray hair that's just like a dude and everyone else is a demon in the crowd?
No, there was multiple humans there. Like one of the dealers was human. Like my question is, and like Lorne's bar was mixed.
Yeah.
Why is it such a surprise to so many people in LA that there are demons?
I
guess it's because they're like cool establishments, and you don't want uncool people go.
Fair.
It's not even a demon thing. It's more just like, no, this place is exclusive.
Fair enough.
The demon bars probably have heavy pours with their drinks, but they're probably expensive. So it's like a gay bar where like,
okay,
some straight people will still go.
You've sold me. But they don't bring their non-cool friends.
Right.
I think I like this scene. Thinking about the episode, I do think that the casino fight, because it feels very much like the gang goes to save Gunn's soul. Like it's always Sunny, kind of like X-Force, Fast and Furious, just like Angel's plan is to literally like give Cordy a stake, like high card, Angel loses, so Cordy just stabs the gangster guy in the hand, and then Angel just whops his head off, and I'm like, that's great.
That's perfect.
It's the most like, it's very like using a sledgehammer instead of a scalpel, which is kind of like, I love it when there's like a group of people who are not the smartest and their way of fighting or getting through something is just sheer force of will.
Well, that's even like Gru even says when they're like, if we're going on luck, I'd rather my sword than whatever card game you're playing, because like clearly this isn't going to end well.
Right. Yeah. But
and I was just gonna say, like, and I think it is sold by the creature effect of his head growing back.
Oh, that is horrifying.
Because that was great.
Like, the screech it lets out as it's coming up, like.
Right. I want you to know that's what I was just about to say. That weirdly, someone that day was like, I like body horror. I'm gonna go all out with this like weird head that pops up.
Yeah. It's like our two big budget things, Coolio and this second head.
Earlier when I said there was two things, that was the other thing, because it does look kind of cool. It doesn't really match the vibe of what we're going for, because it feels like Cronenberg, like horror.
Like
it's fantastic.
It looks like a pimp, like a whitehead pimple kind of like thing, but also like one of those things you squeeze for stress that like
like their eyes
out.
Like,
and then also just like gack ooze, just like every like great.
So my thing is that looks cool, and then the conceit is, oh well, he can't die, so the demons are gonna beat him up. I'm like, but wouldn't that not work too?
I feel like maybe they'll like dismember him or something. Who knows?
He's in a place of weakness. So yeah, who knows how? Yeah,
I was thinking that though as well. Like they're just like, okay, like no one tore up Gunn's contract or anything. Like, so if this demon survives,
like it feels like this will be a problem tomorrow. Like, like, well, we didn't really solve it, so we'll see.
They're our gang. They just do whatever. Yeah. I did also was like, it is also weird that this demon casino is in just full fluorescent lighting. But that's a WB cinematography budget kind of thing, I guess.
They really like to tone down, like with the color.
Right.
God. Then they just leave, and then we go back to the hotel. We get the reveal that it was fucking Gunn's car, which is so stupid. I do like Fred making him apologize numerous times. I appreciate
into
that.
A tape recorder. Yeah.
Yes.
I do also like her being like, so your soul wasn't worth air conditioning? Like, you couldn't have got a better truck out of it?
Also, it just feels like if you have access to all this demon shit, there was absolutely a better avenue to like save a car. Like, we saw a demon mechanic in was it beginning of this season or season 2? When it's season 2 when Cordy has a vision about Gunn. There's a demon mechanic ring. Like, just go there. I don't know. Like,
it'd be funny if it was like, I don't know how they like, oh, air conditioning. It's like, oh no, like, look at. I'm trying to insinuate it would have been
when I press this button, buzzsaws come out.
Like it would have been worth it. Well, hey, I mean, baby never needs gas, perpetually full. Like just something, like silly, but like makes it worth it.
Yeah,
and I get his whole like I didn't think I had a future type thing because
right, sure, yes.
when he was
there
living
are a
in
lot
his
of-
gangster's paradise. That's
Yeah.
how that was.
There were a lot of themes in this. It honestly does feel like if they had another week or two with the script to really think about it, there are a lot of cool. Because I had nothing to live for, but now not only do I have you, I have Angel
That should be
Investigations.
interesting,
Like
yes.
I now live in this place, correct? I now have a home in this huge hotel.
That none of my homeless friends are allowed to come to.
Yeah. They also live in a warehouse together, but I'm good. Make it less, guys. And then we cut to the hotel, and Cordy sees Angel staring at the burnt down crib. I did not understand what we were doing here.
He's moving on.
Yeah, he's dismantling the burned down crib, moving on to. I'm sure he's over it next episode, right?
Right.
Well.
It's just weird because it's like, I don't know, that burnt down room should be affecting, like, it exploded, and it feels like that would infect mess up the beams and whatever. Like if a room explodes and catches fire and fully burns down in a building,
they built that hotel.
It's fine.
Solid.
They did.
Sturdy.
Survives a couple of earthquakes, I feel like. I felt like I get what they're going for. They're going for like, there's a quiet moment, everyone's depressed. It's like Buffy season 6, but I needed something. I don't know. It was just like, all right, that's it. Like, oh, the episode's over.
Gunn and Fred rekindling your love wasn't enough for you?
No, really was not. God, I guess we're at the end.
That's it.
Sometimes when we do episodes like this one, and I'm like, maybe I did lie to Zach about Angel getting good. But no, it is. It's just
It's just sometimes it's a bit of a slog.
Yeah. What was your favorite outfit, Colin?
It's definitely Cordelia's entrance, Emma Frost at the beach look.
Yeah.
Like there's straight up nothing right down through. It's great.
Brett?
I mean, the kind of like militaristic jacket Cordy was wearing in the casino fight, like
I want you all to know I put down the weird, gross demon baby head as my favorite outfit because it looks.
He was
cool.
serving.
I mean, flawless skin, was moisturized.
Honestly, no pores whatsoever. Just one giant pore. No.
Yeah, just favorite scene, Brett.
Yeah, I think the casino fight was the kind of fun chaos. Because after such a ridiculous episode, it was like, okay, this is the right level of stupid.
Colin?
Mine is something Brett mentioned earlier that we kind of glossed over in the actual thing is...
Gangster's Paradise?
No. No. Is between Fred telling them that there's an issue with Gunn in the casino scene when they're trying to figure out how to find him. And they're coming up with all these plans, and Gru is going back and forth between them. And it's just like, also, we should be handing out these cards.
My favorite was the scene with Cordy and Angel where she kind of like talks to him about grief and says that, it won't get better, but he'll like keep moving. What grade do we give this episode, Brett?
C-.
All right. Colin?
Yeah, I'll give it a flat C.
I give it an F. I gave it a full F.
Wow, Gru didn't save it. Not a D-.
Gru had too much clothes on. That's the problem.
Yes, I'll say that. That man should be showing his arms all the time. I give it a big fat F. This fucking sucked, and the previous episode sucked. I gave it a D.
Oh yeah, I guess if you had something to compare it to.
Yeah, and
you've only had me on for the really good ones. So
I did watch the previous episode because where I'd not been watching that, but I'd been listening. So I watched the last episode and then this episode, and I liked the last episode better for sure. But
really,
I feel like miles better than this.
It sounds like something of consequence happened.
I mean, yes, that's why I gave it a D, because at least we had something of consequence happen.
If you were a Gunn Fred shipper, what would you grade it? Like, is this like the A+ of their relationship?
I can't imagine being one. I don't know. I mean,
that's the multiverse of madness.
No hate anyone who is. I'm sure there's someone who's listening that probably is.
Do they come into your mentions like the Buffy fans?
No one comes.
Oh, we'll see. This might draw them out.
No, usually I feel like the Angel people are like never mad when we're making fun of Angel. Like,
Fair.
yeah, because I mean,
People
we
know
make
what
fun
it
of
is.
Yeah, we make fun of Angel like every week. Yeah, if you thank you for listening. I like keep being like there has to be more I have to say, right? We're only at 50 minutes. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on all podcasting platforms, and you can watch our video recordings on YouTube because all of our recordings are now video recordings. Please subscribe, give us a rating, like, tell us what you think, blah, blah, all those things. You can find us on social media on all platforms at SlayerFestX98. If you want to follow me, I'm at ENX Carlos. Colin, where can everyone find you?
I am at csmith03 on all the various socials.
And Brett.
Oh my God. So you can follow me on Instagram at Brett White. I am now the editor-in-chief of a soon-to-becoming website called Pop Heist. So got to know where I can't direct you anywhere to that. You can follow it on Instagram. There's nothing there. But just fingers crossed, hopefully in a month. And then my drag persona, Barb Hardley, at Barb Hardley on YouTube and Instagram. And my sitcom podcast, Must Have Seen TV.
All right, everyone. Well, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.